So I've recently gone full-time in my creative practice, which is great, but how do I actually make a living doing that? Well, this is part 3 of a 4-part series breaking it all down. Part 1 covered my top 5 tips for selling at makers markets. Part 2 dove into my first year on Patreon. And this week I'm talking all about selling online. Hey, I'm Darren. I run a small business called Flam, creating unique homewares from old unwanted drum kits. And this is Flam Tap, the place both here on YouTube and on Patreon, where you'll see behind the scenes as I run this business. You'll get to know a little bit more about me and hopefully pick up some of the tips and tricks I've learned along the way. As usual, let's start with some context. So I've been running Flam for 4.5 years, and for the first 4 years I very rarely did markets, and I don't typically do wholesale. So pretty much all of my business came from online sales, and it started from very small, unexpected beginnings on Instagram. I used to be a drummer, and I got my first kit as a surprise when I was around 14. And as I grew up, I always kept one of the drums from this kit, mostly for sentimental reasons more than anything else. And I'd always planned to make a table from it when I was older. During the 2020 lockdown, that's exactly what I did, and I posted about it on my personal Instagram. A few friends messaged to say that they wanted one, so I set up a separate Instagram account. I bought another drum kit, and I made 2 tables and 3 planters. I launched these on Etsy. Within a day they all sold out, and I've not looked back since. Over the years, the world has changed a lot and people's buying habits have changed a lot, so I've had to keep developing what I offer and how I offer it as time goes by. With that in mind, hopefully there's something here that you will find useful, and without further ado, here are my top 5 tips for selling online. Number 1, be unique and scarce. Like most creatives, when I started out, I had a full-time job and I was still learning my craft. So I didn't have a lot of time to create, and when I did, the production was very slow. In November 2020, when I made that first batch, I remember Instagram offering like a £5 free ad credit. So I made a post the day before I was launching, and I used that £5 to promote it on Instagram. From that, I got a few followers and just under 100 likes, and that really helped that first batch sell out within a day. Immediately, I was thinking, okay, my time is limited. I can only make a handful of these items. How can I turn that to my advantage? So from the get-go, I really focused on releasing work in small batches, making sure that there were new designs in each batch, and really highlighting the fact that there are only a few items, that each one is unique, and that if one sells out, then that design might not come back again. This meant my work had built in scarcity, which added buzz and excitement each time a stock drop approached, and it all encouraged sales. From the beginning, I was also reflecting on what worked and how I could build on that exponentially. Let's take that first batch for example. So from my initial social media push and the £5 ad, I got around 200 followers. The first batch only had 5 items, so really I only needed to make 5 sales out of 200 people to sell out. Because it did sell out, it then made my work look more desirable to the people that were on the fence, and so they were more incentivized to buy the next time. So as I saw it, all I had to do was reach enough eyeballs to make a handful of sales, and over time, the buzz, excitement, and sales would increase exponentially. So 1 week after that first batch sold out, I made 7 new products and launched a giveaway alongside a stock drop. Again, I advertised this on Instagram, but instead of £5 over 1 day, I spent £20 over 4 days. This time the post got 300 likes and over 400 comments, which are good numbers for anyone, but remember, this was 13 days after I launched my Instagram. Again, because my items are unique and scarce, this second batch sold out straight away, and this was how I operated for the foreseeable. By March, I'd hit 2,000 followers on Instagram, and I'd sold out all 4 stock drops within my first 4 months. I kept pushing this exponentially, and perhaps one of my proudest moments even to date happened 6 months in when I received this message from a customer. I can't wait, feel like I've won a prize by securing one. It's like trying for Glastonbury tickets. I mean, this is the dream, and it came about because I was focusing on using that uniqueness and scarcity of my product to my advantage and investing in that exponentially to encourage initial growth. I actually went back to check that message so that I got the wording right, and they're still following. So I just want to say a shout out to Owen and say thank you. That message meant a lot then. It still means a lot, and thanks for supporting my work. Tip number 2 is custom orders. You might be thinking, yeah, small batch sounds great, but I want to sell more products. Well, so did I, and because of the small batch element, if something sold, I would see messages and comments from people saying, oh, damn, that was the one that I wanted to buy. So that's where I would then introduce custom orders. Customers could then get their hands on the items they want, and from a business perspective, it meant I don't have to have vast stock levels, and I can monitor which products are most popular in real time. To incentivize this, I offer custom orders at no additional charge, even to this day, which means you can choose the color and design to match your tastes. So if you can do it, a mix of small batch and custom orders could be a good approach. Tip 3, giveaways. A few years ago, I learned that in the early days of PayPal, they incentivized people to download the app by giving them £30 credit. This later then went down to 20, which later went down to 10, until a point where they had critical mass where enough people knew of them and enough people were using the app that they no longer had to incentivize it. I took this approach to my own work, and in 2022, I ran a giveaway every month throughout the year, and I paid £100 in social media advertising to promote it. This exposed me to a lot of new customers and helped me get to that point of critical mass. Doing a giveaway every single month meant I actually got pretty good at knowing what to include, so if you're thinking of doing a giveaway, here are some pointers. 1. Run a giveaway that allows the winner to choose the prize. 2. Create a carousel of around 10 photos, making sure each photo is a different design or product. 3. Make sure you have the word giveaway clearly visible in every photo. That's the most important one, and I'll explain why in a second. And 4, make sure your entry requirements are that they follow your page, like the photo, share it to the story and tag you in it. And as an optional extra, you can offer bonus entries for every person they tag in the comments. Why those exact tips? Well, different options of products will entice different kinds of people, but more importantly, it allows you to really show off all the different things that you can do to all of the new people that are about to discover your work. The whole point of running a giveaway is to reach a lot of people quickly, so hit them with everything and don't waste the opportunity by using photos filled with text. That's what the post description is for. The only text, in my opinion, that should be on the photo is the word giveaway, and the reason I think it's the most important point and that should be included on all of the photos is that way no matter which of your 10 photos they share to their story, it will be clear to their followers that there's a giveaway and that they have a chance to win your work. Otherwise, they're just posting a random photo. Getting your followers to share your work with their followers is so key because it's saying people like you love things like this. So don't waste that opportunity with ambiguous photos. And as a bonus little bit of advice, if you are going to set the requirements that they have to tag you in their story, it means you automatically get sent a message that says they tagged you. And if you're going to do a bunch of different giveaways, over time you will end up with a data point that looks like this. In this case, you can see that this person has entered a lot of giveaways and is a top fan of your work. Whenever I have downtime, I go through my messages and I look for patterns like this. And if I find one, I send these lovely people a message just to say, hey, thank you so much. I see you and I appreciate you. I'm sorry that you haven't won anything. Here is a discount code, or here is a free trial, or just something to show appreciation and potentially encourage them to make a purchase, or at the least feel like they would like to keep sharing your work. Tip 4, small batch versus made to order. As times changed and people's disposable income changed, I noticed that the small batch release model wasn't as reliable. Also, around this time, I was approached to partner with global Japanese clothing company Uniqlo for an interview and photo shoot ahead of their Edinburgh store opening. This was a fun but surreal experience. I've detailed the whole thing on my Patreon, from what happened to how it came about. If interested, you can check that out at patreon.com/flamtap. The reason I bring it up is this opportunity would lead to me and my work being featured on bus stops, billboards and publications. And I worried that if people discovered my work but my website was sold out, then I would miss out on sales. So I changed my approach from small batch to made to order. I gathered up all of the designs that I'd made over the years in each of these small batch releases, and I listed them all on my website as made to order. Suddenly, my website had over 150 designs, all available to purchase and made to order within 2 weeks. This has been great for collecting sales every so often when people discover my work, but also gives me flexibility with stock levels. I still do small batch releases for new designs, and I'm able to offer these to Patreon members on early access before they're then added to the website made to order. This just adds a little incentive for Patreon signups, and you can hear all about Patreon in my last video. And tip 5, diversify how you reach people. If you're still watching this far into this video, you're probably a creative yourself and will already be aware that it's getting harder and harder to be found by customers on social media or to keep up with algorithm preferences. Personally, I've been trying to move away from a reliance on Instagram for finding customers and getting sales. I still use it and I still love posting and designing a beautiful feed, but my real efforts are in finding customers and audiences in different ways and in other means. For example, in 2023, I launched my own podcast called None of Your Business. It has 13 episodes in which I sit down with a different artist, maker, and small business to talk about our practice and processes, to share what goes on behind the scenes, and discuss our tips and tricks. It's basically an early iteration of what I hope this channel will become, and it allowed myself and other creatives to lift each other up and spread awareness of each other's work to new audiences. It was actually on this podcast that I met my partner Kiara, who has her own YouTube channel you should check out. We're actually planning a little crossover video, so you can expect to see her pop up on this channel in the next few weeks. Another project to diversify reach, and one that we actually did together, was called Nella Folla. For this project, Kiara and I developed and published a catalogue of makers, artists and businesses and released it over Christmas in 2024. The hope was that we could spread awareness of some of our favourite creatives while also introducing ourselves to new audiences. If organising things like this sound a bit unachievable to begin with, then there's plenty of other things that you can try. Things like creative networking events or reaching out to people for collabs. You could build up your mailing list or take a chance on a new platform. I personally took a chance on Patreon and now on YouTube. And while it's a lot of work, I'm really enjoying it and I'm really excited to be building something that feels more sustainable over the long term. Selling online isn't easy and I am definitely no expert, but it is something that I put a lot of thought and energy into, and it's allowed me to keep growing my business. If you're hoping to start selling online and have any questions, drop them down below in the comments. Or if you're already doing it and have tips of your own, drop them down below too. For now though, thank you so much for watching this week's video. Next week is the final part of this 4-part series detailing how I make a living as a full-time artist. And in that video, I'll talk about setting up your own art studios. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. If you could like and subscribe, that would mean a lot. And I'd love to hear from you down in the comments too. You can shop my work at flamhomewares.com. You can follow me at flam_homewares on Instagram. And you can join my Patreon club at patreon.com/flamtap.